Hello, replay viewers. Hello, live viewers. Welcome. Hey, replay viewers, know that your hearts also count. As people trickle in the room, allow me to say hello to you guys. Scott, how you doing? Miss Cherry, Surf Girl 11, thank you so much for joining. Great to see you on my scope. For those of you who don't know, I have been reviewing the entire last 3 weeks, the Grant Cardone book, The 10X Rule. We are on chapter 20 and 21 today. I'm going to be reviewing it. We're going to be talking omnipresence, and then let me scoot over to chapter 21 and tell you what that one is, because off the top of my head, I don't remember. Excuses. Everybody's got excuses as to why they're not successful. I'm not ready. I'm not this. I'm not that. But first, we need to talk about being omnipresent. Jewel Kitko, thank you so much for joining in today. Vaughn Jr. 25, thank you for being here. Guys, we're going to get this scope going in just a couple minutes. We are reviewing the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I've been doing this for 3 weeks now, and that's where we're at. If you want to get the book so that you can follow along also, or you are ready to read the book because you want to take massive action so that you can get massive results, feel free to do so at the bit.ly link located right there, bit.ly/action10x. That will get you to the least expensive version I found of the book at Amazon.com. How is everybody doing today? Put a 1 in the box if you're having an absolutely awesome day. We are going to cover some material. We're going to talk about excuses and being omnipresent. How many of you know what omnipresent means? Oh, we got jewelry. I always have a hard time with that word, jewelry lady in the house. David, thanks for sharing out on Twitter. And if you guys think that this could be valuable information, taking massive action so that you can get massive results in your life, feel free to share it out with your followers. For those who do not know who I am, thanks, David, I appreciate it. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Ryan Roy. I am a success coach. I help people, small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, real estate agents, authors, anybody who you could think of who just may not have a boss in their life. I help them break down their big dreams and goals. We help them evaluate it and put it into actionable steps, and then I hold you accountable to taking those steps to reach your goals. Lorena came in and out. Great to see her. Kim Buchanan, thank you so much for being here. Are you guys, Lorena, thanks for coming back in. I saw you came out of the scope and back in. How many of you are ready by putting the word ready? Hurricane from his 33rd floor apartment. That's awesome. He's not crazy. Well, he is crazy, but that's what makes Grant Grant. You know, he's not going to leave. First of all, I know exactly what building that Grant lives in because I grew up on Miami Beach. And those buildings are built for it. Wouldn't let me in. You're in now. You are totally in now. It's shaking. Well, yeah, because he's on the 33rd floor, so there's going to be some sway to the building. There's nothing's going to happen to those buildings on Miami Beach. And as a matter of fact, the way the hurricane's coming, just off topic, it's a very small portion of it is going to hit it. Listen, I love storms, Kim. I don't know if you have hurricanes over there, but hurricanes are freaking fun. It's awesome. So I love hurricanes. I have a bunch of friends, obviously, and family in Florida. So everybody's packing up, getting safe because it's going to be awesome. Hurricane babies. We talked about that, didn't we, Sexy Goddess? That's what it's all about. So we love hurricanes because you can end up making lots of babies because there's nothing else to do. You have cyclones over in Australia. Here in the United States, we have hurricanes, and on the West Coast, they're called typhoons. So, Melanie, thank you so much for popping in, and thanks for inviting out with your fathers. But ready, guys, let's do this. Ready for omnipresence. The word omnipresence, and hello, Sandra. I'm so excited for tomorrow night, guys. Just so you know, tomorrow night at 7 Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be scoping with an amazing group of people. Sandra is one of them. She's heading up. It's called Financial Fridays. So we'll be talking about your finances, money, how to make money, how to save money. And there is going to be a line of us that are going to be giving absolutely awesome information regarding your finances. So Financial Fridays tomorrow night starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be going on at 7 p.m. And there's going to be, I believe, 8 amazing broadcasters. So please, please, please join us for that tomorrow night. Omnipresence. The word omnipresence conveys the concept of being everywhere, right? There you go. Thank you so much, Sandra, for putting that out there. The word omnipresence conveys the concept of being everywhere, in all places, at all times. Can you imagine what it would be like if you, your brand, your company could be everywhere all of the time, right? And how much power that would give. How many of you, by putting a 1 in the box, have said at some point in your life, man, I wish there was a clone of me? Put a 1 in the box. Yeah, it is called social media. That's what he's talking about here. It's omnipresence. Yup. Lorena said that. Kim said that. Melanie said that. We've all kind of said that at some point every day, right, Sandra? So Sandra shot me a message about Financial Fridays, which was funny because I went to bed about 2:30 that night, Sandra, and her message came in at 3. And at 6 a.m. when I read it, I was like, oh, yep. She's a hustler, just like me. Hey, Ruben, how you doing? Coach Avalos, appreciate you coming in. We're talking about chapter 20 and 21. Chapter 20 is omnipresence. Chapter 21 is going to be about excuses, right? The things upon which people depend most are omnipresent. Think about this. The things that we depend upon most are omnipresent. We rely on oxygen to breathe, water to drink, fuel to burn our car, electricity that runs through our homes. These things are what we think of when we think of omnipresence. God, right? A lot of us are spiritual. A lot of us are Christians. A lot of us rely on our God to go on in times of need, but also in times of when things are going well, and thanking Him and being grateful for those things, right? The kind of mindset from which you must operate to make yourself available everywhere is called omnipresence. How you doing, Ryan? Thanks for coming to Scope. Many people, this is what he says in the book. He says, many people incorrectly assume that they can make a handful of phone calls, do 2 or 3 scopes, right? We're going to do make a personal visit or two to somewhere, send out a couple emails, and all of a sudden, everyone's going to hire them for their service or buy their product. Guys, it can't be done. What he says, the truth is that none of these actions will cause people to think about you enough to have a considerable effect. Are you operating at the right level of targeting and thinking big enough? If you're not already, you need to expand your approach and enlarge your footprint with the goal of dominating and being absolutely everywhere. Lather, rinse, repeat. I don't know what you're talking about there, Ryan. I must have missed something. So what Grant says in this, he says his personal goal, listen to this, his personal goal is that he wants 6 billion people to hear his message constantly. How many of you have heard of Grant Cardone, by the way? Put a 1 in the box if you've heard of Grant Cardone outside of me reviewing the book. How many of you have heard of Grant Cardone? There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go, right? So we got 11 people in the scope, 4 people, 5 people, probably 6, 7, 8 people. They just haven't hit the ones yet. The thing about Grant Cardone is he is one of the top sales guy. He is, describe one word for those of you who know who Grant Cardone is, right? We got 11, we got 9 ones out of 11 people. Just got his book. Fabulous, fabulous, with some sold out followers. One strong personnel with some sold out followers. I don't know if I'm digging that. He is a lion. He is absolutely everywhere. And I remember the first time I came across his stuff, next thing I knew, there were pop-ups everywhere on my Facebook, pop-ups every website I went to, and I was like, man, why do I keep hearing about this guy? Now I understand this stuff, right? He is narcissistic, right? But he's successful, narcissistic, and he's fearless. He's a leader. He's a motivator. I love the narcissistic. But he has success in the area that he desires to have success in. Why? Because he sits there and does the things that he talks about doing in his books. You heard someone talk about him. Go and Google him. He's a doer. He's a doer. His mindset is that he wants everybody to know, yeah, most narcissists are successful in whatever it is that they're trying to be successful in. He's what's been missing in your life. And listen, you don't have to be like Grant Cardone. Action taker. You don't have to be like Grant Cardone. You need to take his concepts, apply them, And just because he says do all this, you don't have to do it 10x level, but if you did it 5x level, or even did it at 1x level, you'd have more success because many people don't even understand the concepts, right? So when you're introduced to a guy like him, you say, how is he uber successful? How do you become successful, guys? Is do exactly what somebody has done that you admire and you want to do. Don't try and reinvent it yourself. Be yourself with his tools. Exactly, Ryan. Exactly. Be yourself with his tools. This mindset will then allow for us to make all our decisions with the goal of moving in the direction of getting everyone on the planet to know about him, his products, his company, and his efforts. He wants 6 billion people to know about him. That's the goal. All he's got to do is promote. And then anything he does in his company, he says to him, he asks, does this help us promote the idea of being in front of 6 billion people? Am I going to be on a radio show? Yes. Will that introduce me to new people? Am I going to take this small podcast where it has 2,000 viewers, but maybe it's not my people, right? Maybe they're not salespeople. I'm going to sit there and I am going to get on this 2,000 person show, even though I'm huge, because it's going to expose me to new people. If the answer is yes to those things, he does it. Is that kind of thinking too big? He says for most people it is. Gary V. His energy is through the roof, but he's out there and he's putting it out there and his energy is out there and people are like, fuck, how does that guy have that much energy? He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to help people. And then people are like, oh my God, man, I can't match that energy. Maybe you don't have to match the energy. You don't need to be Gary V. I don't need to be Grant. I don't need to be Gary V. I need to be the best damn Ryan Roy I can be. And I'm not going to do that if I can't hit the broadcast button. I'm not going to do that if I can't pick up phone calls. I'm not going to do that if I'm not doing the things necessary by taking that 10x action that I want to be. Better living through chemistry and espresso. That's funny. Well, I know where you're going with that, Ryan. I don't even have espresso and I'm not into chemistry much. So I can't relate to that and I can't be those guys because I don't have that kind of energy and I choose not to put those types of things in my body. So he says, show me a great company that has not accomplished omnipresence. Show me one great company that has not accomplished omnipresence. So, have you guys heard of Coca-Cola? McDonald's? Google, Starbucks. I don't even drink coffee. I'm just amazed every time I walk by a Starbucks in a mall or drive by one, there's a line out the door. Guys, omnipresence. I have people from all over the world in this room right now. All over the freaking world. And guess what? All of you have heard of every single one of these. Philip Morris, AT&T, Lazy Boy, Bank of America, Disney, Visa, American Express, Macy's, Walmart, Best Buy. There's not one company on there. And if there is a company on there that some of you may not have heard of, you may be living under a rock. They have omnipresence. He goes, omnipresence is also present with people. There's probably not one person in here who hasn't heard of the names that I'm about to read off. And if they do, you're just not in tune with their sector. Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, George Bush, Barack Obama, Abe Lincoln, Elvis. He just puts Elvis, right? He didn't even have to put Presley. Elvis is Elvis. There's no other Elvis out there. Anybody else know an Elvis? No. It's Elvis Presley. You don't need to know. The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Walt Disney, Mother Teresa, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. These people have omnipresence. You want to hear the funny thing? I'm so used to reading books on my phone, guys, and I'm reading off my iPad right now, my highlights of the book, that I almost turned the page on my phone and got rid of you guys for a second there. You have a picture of you pocketing Warren Buffett. So I'm going to talk about this on Financial Fridays. So for those of you in Financial Fridays, everybody's talking about in the news right now is that that Donald Trump doesn't pay taxes. How many of you would like to not pay taxes? Put a 1 in the box. How many of you would like to not pay taxes? Put a 1 in the box. Warren Buffett doesn't pay taxes either. Warren Buffett pays himself $1. He's worth billions. He pays himself $1 a year. That's his annual salary. How much taxes do you pay on $1? You don't. You don't earn enough money. everything gets filtered through his business. Everything gets filtered through the business. And guess what? People are criticizing people like him and Donald Trump for not paying taxes. Right? There you go. No tax is prudent. So let's go. Your name is, he said his father said this about him, and this is how he was raised. Your name is your most important asset. People can take everything away from you, but they can't take your name. So he says do things in integrity, right? The higher your purpose, people, the higher your purpose, and when you figure this out, the more fuel you will have to do your 10x actions. A lot of people don't know why they're doing it. A lot of people have no clue what they're doing a business for. They're like, I want to make money. He didn't say he wants to make money. He said he wants to be known by 6 billion people. If 6 billion people know you, you're making money. But everybody has the wrong goals. And yesterday I said, yesterday's chapter was customer service is the wrong goal. Know your why. Absolutely right, Ryan. So, he says, how did he become omnipresent? He took 10x action. He wrote books. He did interviews. He did blogging. He was writing articles. He was accepting speaking engagements, even ones that he was like, should I be doing this? He invested in himself. He invested in other people's companies and other people's projects. These are the results of thinking big. It's a grind, but it was passion. He wants to reach the world. So if you're passionate about something, it's not work. So, let me go where else I want to go with this. People are going to criticize you when you're taking massive action. They're going to say, why? Ryan, and I've had this. Ryan, why do you scope 3-4 times a day when I first started doing it? Man, I grew a following. I had a lot of clients from Periscope. Why do you do it every day? But now those same people are like, hey, Ryan, how do you make money on Periscope? What is it that you do? What are the tricks of the trade? What is it? Why do you do? So I got in to build my client base, and now people are asking me, what are the strategies? And I'll show you the strategies, guys. And by the way, I'm going to do a quick break here. If anybody wants to buy the book, I highly suggest the book. Go to the bit.ly link, bit.ly/action10x. Why? Take a screenshot of that if you want to get the book. Why? Because this book is valuable information. And I know a lot of you probably already got the book. How many of you have the book, by the way? Put a 1 in the box if you have the book or have read the book or are intending to read the book. Boom. None of you. Why would you need to read the book? The train scope, right? Yeah, I have the train in the background. And the audio. So I've reviewed the entire thing, and a lot of you have followed me the entire way, which is absolutely awesome. So what he talks about is the best revenge for people who are haters, right? And for you being absolutely everywhere is for you to have massive success. That's the best revenge you could have on anybody. He goes, his wife said that to him when somebody was criticizing him. He was like, man, I'm being criticized, and maybe I shouldn't do that. And she says, use your own advice and your own saying. The best revenge is taking massive action to get massive results, to have massive success. He says, hearing the truth from his sane and positive wife immediately put him at ease, and it made it clear to him that the best payback possible was not to force anything, but simply amass more success. So, I'm going to go on to excuses, guys. Chapter 21, excuses. How many of you have ever heard, haters going to hate? Success breeds haters. Success breeds success, I like to say. But when you have success, other people will criticize, right? And many of you out there want to take massive action in your life. Hey, Lori, it's been a while since I've seen you. Thanks for coming in. A lot of people will give excuses. A lot of people right now are like, yeah, well, I'm not buying the book because that's Grant Cardone. I'm not a sales guy. You know what? I'll listen to this scope, but I'm not sure whether or not it's what it is. You know what? I'll read it next month. Critics are often not doers. You're right. They're too busy criticizing people. I actually got a criticism. I shared it on a scope, and somebody reached out to me saying, hey, I made a comment on that, and I didn't take it that way. I heard that a lot of people took that negatively. Can we talk about it? I said, there's nothing to talk about. I said, I'm not even focused on the haters. I'm focused on doing what I need to do. And so there's nothing to talk about. Thanks for reaching out, but I'm good. And she was like, oh, I just wanted you to know, like, whether you took it the wrong way or not, I don't really give a because I'm doing what I need to do. It was the planking thing. Someone reached out to me today about something I talked about last week. I'm not stopping. I don't have time for that. I don't get on the phone for you to tell me that you didn't take it that way. Great. There's a lot of other people that didn't take it that way too. So, excuses. He says this: an excuse is a justification for doing or not doing something. He says he thinks the dictionary implies that it's a reason. However, in reality, an excuse usually turns out to be something other than the real reason that motivates your actions or lack thereof. For example, let's say you're late for work due to traffic. That's not the reason you were late. The reason you were late is because you left your home without enough time to allow for traffic. But you want to give the excuse or justification that, hey, it's all right because of that. A lot of times when I'm coaching my clients, my company's name, guys, by the way, if you don't know, is Justify or Just Do It. It takes about the same amount of energy. As soon as I start hearing the justifications or excuses, I say, I don't care why it didn't get done. What are we going to do moving forward? I don't want to know the problem. I want to know the solution. I want to know, give me solutions. If we have a challenge doing this, tell me what we're going to do to make sure that we do it next time. And what's the date, and when are you? How are you going to connect with me to know that it got done? It's that simple. And then they're like, wow, that was harsh. I'm like, if I allow you, listen to this, if I allow you as your coach to give me a bunch of excuses, you've just validated it to the world. Listen to this. If you told me that you're going to do something and I say, hey, what happened there? Or what are we going to do going forward? And you're like, well, you don't know what happened. Yesterday, my dog died. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry your dog died. What's that have to do with what you said you wanted to accomplish? And it may sound harsh, guys, but I'm like, look, stop the excuses. What are we going to do going forward? I can't control your dog being dead. We're going to bury it. We're going to do that. Knowing all those things, when is this going to be done? And people are like, damn. It's like, it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter to me. Hello, Nancy, because you hired me to get your goals. I don't want to know what prevented you from doing it. I want to know what you're going to do to accomplish. That's how you mature people, right? And that's what I do with my son. That's what I do in my life. That's what I do with people in my life. Excuses are never the reason for why you did or didn't do something. They're just a revision of the facts that you make up in your mind in order to help yourself feel better about what happened or did not happen. Great to see you. Excuses are for people who refuse to take responsibility for their life and how it turns out. He says this in here. I'm going to read it out loud. I'm not even going to read it out loud because I don't even want to offend people, because it's not my words, it's his words, and I don't even want to get into that debate unless you guys want me to read it. May I have permission to write something in here or say something that Grant says? Offend, offend, offend. And I know it's meant, and and as he says it, right? It's like, oh man, do we have to go there? He says, slaves and victims make excuses and will forever be destined to have leftovers in other scraps. Boom. When I read this, I thought to myself, was Martin Luther King a slave? Or did he stand up and stop making excuses and make change? That was an immediate thought that went through my head. I was like, ooh, that's going to hit some people. But my whole thing was, he's not a victim. He didn't make excuses. He didn't say, nobody else has ever stood up for my rights the way I'm going to stand up. He's like, I'm going to go fucking stand up and I'm going to make a change. And everybody knows he's omnipresent. Martin Luther King is omnipresent because of the things that he did. And boom, I didn't write it, but I like what he means by it. The first thing to know about excuses is that they never improve your situation. I've never heard an excuse that I've come up with, and I have them too. You have them. Why? Look, yesterday, a friend of mine passed away. I did not want to scope yesterday. I got on and I scoped about it. I had this scope I needed to do yesterday. I had no desire. Guys, I'm not even going to lie to you. I read the chapter in like 8 minutes. I highlighted some stuff, and I got on and winged it. But I was like, I didn't want to do it. A friend of mine died, 40 years old, of a massive heart attack. I could have the excuse that Chad died. Chad wants me to live. So I sucked it up, Buttercup, and I got to work. And guess what? I did a whole bunch of other stuff yesterday that I didn't want to do the day after a good friend of mine died. It's that simple. No good excuse is you're right, no good excuse, no excuse period is going to improve your situation. The second thing to know is which ones you use on a regular basis. No, you guys, thank you so much. I had my grieving process. I'm straight up, I have my grieving process. I'm back at it because he wants me to live. I'm doing things today he will never be able to do. I'm going to live my life. That's what he wants me to do. He doesn't want me to cry. He doesn't want me to whine. He doesn't want me to make excuses. He wants me to live my fucking life because he can't live his life anymore. And at 40 years old, I question my own mortality because somebody I know just died of a massive heart attack. So I need to take massive 10x actions, right? It's not running an excuse museum. And I talked about this a couple days ago. Guys, I know so many people that could write a book of excuses, but their biggest excuse is, well, I don't know how to write a book. Well, guess what? You have 1,000 of them, so go write the damn book. Everybody will buy it because everybody's got them, right? They'll be like, damn, I've used that one. Hey, guys, let's read the book of excuses. I may write it, guys. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to review it. And every day we're going to have 10 excuses. Hey, guys, have you heard this one? You'd be like, I could write a book right now. Think of an excuse that somebody gave you, not even one you gave. Give an excuse right now that you've heard from somebody in the last 24 hours. Oh, man, my car died. You know what? I ate that cookie because I was down. That was my excuse yesterday, guys. I've lost 10 pounds in 28 days. Guess what? I ate 2 freaking cookies yesterday. Why? Because I was sulking. That's my excuse. I was sulking because my friend died and I wanted some comfort food, so I ate some damn cookies. That's one excuse I used yesterday. Oh, they were too tired from working too much. Oh, I'll do it after vacation. You know, I need that break. Man, after vacation didn't come for Chad, people. After vacation didn't come from my friend Chad. You know what? He was gonna start his diet when his brother, who also, his twin brother, had a massive heart attack the week before. You know what? When he gets out of the hospital, I'm gonna start eating better with him. Instead of going to the hospital himself and saying, damn, I do all the same things my brother does. I look exactly like him. Let me go to the hospital and see if there's anything wrong with me. Let me get my heart checked out. I bet you that didn't fucking happen. And I've lost a friend because of it. Because people want to do it next week. That's bullshit. Sorry with the language, man. I'm losing it today. Because I lost a friend for no fucking reason. Didn't take any action in the areas he needed to. Thank you. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you for going and checking yourself out. That's right. Change now before it changes you. Now is all there is. Don't do it next week. Next week isn't going to come. My biggest challenge as a parent is my wife is very good at saying, let's do it tomorrow. And you know what my son says? Hey, can we do it tomorrow? And I'm like, no. We're doing it now. I don't care what your mother says. It's getting done now. You got to lose 10 pounds? Dude, 10 pounds is easy. I'm telling you, 28 days, I dropped it. 28 days, 10 pounds. Boom. I'm not a big dude, but I needed to lose 15, and I'm going to crush the other 5 really soon here. So, here are some of the excuses he puts in the book. I don't have the money. No other way. Now, I have kids. I don't have kids. I don't have a why. I'm married. I'm not married. I have to find balance in my life. I'm overworked. I'm underworked. I don't have enough time. Too many people work here. We don't have enough people. My manager sucks. He doesn't help me. He won't leave me alone. He's too negative. He's too positive. He's all jacked up. I don't like reading. I don't have time to study. I don't have time for anything. Our prices are too high. Our prices are too low. I mean, what the... And if you notice, every one of those positive one had a negative one, but somebody is using the excuse. This guy, Ryan, right now, he's high on something. How does he have that much energy? I'm high on life, people. But guess what? Somebody's criticizing me on the other end. I don't get a lot of trolls, but when I do, I love on them. I tell them to get out of the scope because we don't need you here. Bye-bye. I always invite them to stay if they can behave themselves, but they don't really show up. Will any of these excuses ever improve your condition? Nope. None of them. None of them. Every time you're making an excuse like, oh my God, I need to start tomorrow. Oh my God, I don't know what to say. And she may still be in here, a friend of mine. Look, honestly, you could prepare till you're fucking blue in the face, all of you. But until you do something, you're not going to learn from anything. You can sit there and say you're going to scope. You could sit there and say you're going to start a business. You could sit there and have all the plans in the world. But a plan without an execution or starting to execute is going to turn into a plan or a dream in your mind. When you start putting things down and making them concrete and sharing with people at a high level, guess what? Your dreams will start materializing. Until you do that, you're going to have a bunch of excuses as to why it hasn't happened. Boom. Lori, you have an amazing day. You heard my excuse right now. See you. Peace, Lori. I don't want to be your excuse. Lori, go. Go and do your stuff. And if I've struck a chord, I love that Lori just left. She's like, man, I'm not doing enough. Like, I needed to watch Ryan. But she got something out of the message, and she's like, peace, I got to go. I got shit to do. That's why I do these scopes. So that you people will go do something. I'm a fucking accountability coach. I have people take action. And a lot of times actions they don't want to take. And if you guys want, Lori, if you want to talk, if you're still here, go to ryanroy.me and get a free coaching session. Because you've just listened to me for 25 minutes and you're like, damn, I got to do something. Imagine if I was your coach. ryanroy.me and go get a coaching session. Let's do this and start working with me. Boom. This book focuses on many differences between successful and unsuccessful people. There is a very distinct dissimilarity, is that successful people don't make excuses. Successful people don't do it. Successful people don't say, well, that guy over there did it, so I can't do it that way. Successful people mimic other successful people. Really successful people pave the way for other successful people. They think outside the box, and a lot of people want to follow them. They're actually quite unreasonable when it comes to providing reasons, at least for failure, right? So like I said, when someone comes to me with why I didn't do something, I'm not really interested. Tell me what you're going to do to get to where you said you wanted to go. There are no justifications that will change the facts or situations, and any reasons I may provide are only opportunities yet to be handled. Well, I don't have enough money. Well, we need to handle that problem. What are we going to do to educate ourselves? And we'll be talking about that tomorrow night on Financial Fridays. Me personally at 7 p.m. And it starts at 6 p.m. with Sandra Meadows, who was in here earlier. Nothing happens to you. It happens because of you. Hear that? Nothing happens to anybody. Things happen because of you. If you're not taking enough action towards your health, guess what? You're going to get fat. And people get offended by that. Why are you fat? I ate too much. You're right. And I didn't exercise enough. I once heard somebody say something about this. He says, man, I was thinking about writing a diet book. And I think I've written it 10 times over. I'm going to sell it, guys. I'm going to sell it. Ray, I'm going to give you whole content right now. Eat less, exercise more. Boom. Done. Eat less, exercise more. Consume less calories. And the second part is burn the calories that you consume. Eat less, exercise more, book done. Too many people aren't doing that. And if people would just do that, we don't need P90X. We don't need T25. We don't need Shailene Johnson. We don't need any of these people. We need to go outside, go for a half hour to an hour walk every day, and sit there and eat sensible meals. And guess what? You're going to get where you want to go. In business, you need to make more phone calls. You need to touch more people. You're going to get more clients. It's that simple. I love Periscope. Why? Because I can connect with hundreds, thousands of people every single week who may or may not know me. And all I need to do, and can I share something with you guys really quick? Can I share something? Put a 1 in the box if I could share something with you really quick. Coach Avalos, you'll appreciate this because I don't know how much you scope. I don't think you scope much at all. When I picked this time slot, it was convenient for me to do this. This time slot, this is the least amount of people I get here. But the 12 people who are in the room are the people who continue to show up. So I continue to do it because I told you I would be here and that I was going to show up until this book was done. And guess what? That's what I've done. But a big part of me was like, I'm not connecting with enough people in this time slot. I should change it, or I'm just going to scrap it and do something else. But that wouldn't be in high integrity to me or any of you who show up every day and support me. So I decided, even though that was my mind saying something, I can't tell you 100 times I said, man, I don't want to scope on this at 12:15 because the numbers aren't here. But what I've told myself and what I know is true is that the right people have showed up every single day, because this is when you guys can get in. So for that, I want to thank you guys for continuing to show, because my own mind frick was like, man, this is not the right time. But what's that tell you about me and being an accountability coach, right? What's that tell you about me and being a success coach? That's right. I have to do what I say, otherwise my word is shit. And that is not going to happen. Therefore, I've continued as much as I've been resistant to it, because that is what it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Ruben. So, nothing happens to you. It only happens because of you. Excuses are just another component. My excuse could have been, well, I don't have enough viewers. It's not about viewers. It's about the right people. Look at that. So Kim Buchanan, thank you so much for saying that, because I don't know what time it is. There is somebody in Australia who gets up at 3:50 in the morning to listen to me. And if I don't show up, what does that say to her about me? It's like, man, Ryan said he would be here at 12:15. I got up early in the morning because I'm enjoying his energy. And boom. And you show up. Thank you for that. You'd be pissed. And you'd be like, man, that Ryan guy said he was going to show up and he hasn't shown up. And then I didn't even give a reason or an excuse or a justification to my audience. I was just like, man, I'm scrapping that. So Kim, thank you so much, because I show up for you. I show up for the ones who have been here. We're almost towards the end of this, guys. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Boom. That makes me feel good about my decision. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. And guess what? That's what I needed to share with you guys. It could be an excuse. It could be a justification. With 11 people in the scope. I'm used to having 30, 40, 50 people in a scope. Why am I only have 11? You know what? This is the wrong time slot. No, the right people are in this room. Lastly, guys, before we end this, I'm going to end. Boom. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. He didn't buy from me because the bank wouldn't make the loan. What is he talking about? People making excuses. I'm going to read the whole paragraph. I highlighted a part, but I don't know the context. If you make success an option, then it won't be an option for you. Simple. No excuse exists that can or will make you successful. Engaging in self-pity and excuse-making are signs that someone has an extremely minimal degree of responsibility. He didn't buy from me because the bank wouldn't give him the loan. No, he didn't buy from you because you were unable to secure proper financing for the person who wanted to give you, who wanted to be your potential customer. So I was talking about this with a client earlier this week. Somebody's putting out a program. And he's like, well, what if people can't afford it? I said, give them options. Give people options. So I don't know if you guys know this. So an option could be a payment plan. Right? Payment plan, and when you get all the payments in, 3 payments of $100, $300 product. It could be 2 payments. It could be pay before the class begins. Here's another option I gave him, which he didn't think of. He's going to be teaching people how to make money, right? If I was going to teach you how to make money, and I showed you how to get in my class for free, would you guys sign up? Put a 1 in the box. And this is not my course, but I would assume that if you wanted my course and I showed you how to get in for free, would you listen? Now, free doesn't exist. We all know that. But if I gave you free money for 6 months and you applied for credit on PayPal, and a lot of people don't know this, if you guys are selling products, PayPal has 0% interest on purchases over $300 for 6 months. So if I teach you how to make money in my course and you want to get in the course, do you think that you can make $50 a month to pay 0% interest on my course? Yeah. So if you have a course or a product out there and your people are like, I don't have the money, you say, listen, PayPal over here will take care of it. So you get the money. And guess what? They get the resource to learn how to make a hell of a lot of money. Oh, it's purchases over $99. See? So now you gave them a resource to learn how to make money, and you got paid, and they get the knowledge. Whether or not they pay it is not up to you. Whether or not they learn and take the knowledge that you teach them is not up to you. What is up to you is for them to learn the knowledge or have the opportunity to learn the knowledge from you. I don't know, Kim, but you could go to paypal.com and find out. right? And so Melanie's saying yes. So I charge people for that information. Dawn, go back and watch it because that's not what the scope's about. But go to paypal.com. Okay? See? Think about that, guys. I just gave you. Well, I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said. So what I think you're asking is this. When I teach somebody something, I can't control what they do. All I can do is control myself and giving them the knowledge. Like right now, I just gave 15 people who potentially have a product or a service that they could sell. I gave you guys a resource in PayPal, which will give somebody credit, even with bad credit, to pay them within 6 months, 0% interest. I can't control whether or not you go and take that information. But I tell you this, each and every single one of you, if you're selling a product and people are having money problems and they can't do it, and you're selling them a way to make more money, you owe it to them and yourself to bring them on as a client and giving them the resource in which to do it. I hope I just said it twice. Did I cover that for you, Donnie D? Did I say that? I hope I covered that for you. So, you're welcome. So, and here was the excuse. He didn't buy from you because you were unable to secure proper financing for a potential client. So guys, go out there and make sure people have options that they could do things with, okay? So, this is towards the end of the chapter. It's on the last page, I promise, guys. Excuses are one item that people are to have. Excuses are one item that people seem to have an almost endless supply of. Because they are so plentiful, they have no value. That book of 1,000 excuses, nobody would buy it. Because they're everywhere. Everyone has their own 1,000 excuses. Not because they do not forward your desire to create more success for yourself. They are worthless uses of energy. I don't need to hear excuses. If you're going to approach success as you've been taught throughout this book, not as an option, but as your duty, your obligation, and your responsibility, then you must commit to never using excuses for anything. I catch myself all the time saying, well, I don't want to do this because, man, I got to stop myself, and I do. I'm like, how can I do it? How can I accomplish it? Guys, I coach people on this, but I'm victim. Ruben, you coach people on this, but you still fall victim to it yourself. The thing is being present with your mind and catching your own terminology and having a coach in your life, even if you're a coach, because I have two coaches myself, that catch me on my own BS. And that's why I have a coach, so that I catch my own terminology so that I could be a better person for my clients. Okay? The old saying goes, last sentence, the old saying goes, if it is to be, it is up to me. There you go. Find a reason or excuse, and find the reason or the excuse will find you, right? Everyone needs balance. Everyone that wants to be successful should have mentors, coaches, or someone in their life that's going to bring them to the next level. For me, I love to help people. If any of you, again, listen, this is about taking action, guys. I'm offering you a free, complimentary coaching session with a coach who does this for a living and has helped a lot of people. RyanRoy.me/ or right at the top of the screen, there's a complimentary coaching session. All you need to do is click the button and fill out a very brief survey, and I'm going to give you an hour of my time. And if you don't do that, when you know coaches work, when you know Grant Cardone has coaches, you know Warren Buffett has coaches, you know Tony Robbins has coaches. If the most successful people in the world have coaches, why do they have coaches? Because coaches work and because they're getting a different perspective. So take me up on the offer. Go to RyanRoy.me. Got to hit the deck and learn how not to. I must have missed something that you said, Ruben. I must have said something you said. Boom, boom, boom. Even when the training wheels come off, we still... Yeah, look, we're human, man. We're all human. We're all human. So lose the excuses and be omnipresent. Tomorrow is the end, guys. Can you believe tomorrow is the end? There's actually a chapter 23, but it's talking about implementation of the 10x rule. But what chapter 22 is, if my iPad will work, successful or unsuccessful. And he talks about, like, I think there's 30 things, and I'm just going to go over them quickly, briefly tomorrow, that you can do that successful people do in their lives. So come in tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the end of the book. For those of you who have been in there with me the entire way or part of the way, thank you so much for being here. I find it interesting. The people that are in this room are in Europe, that are in Australia. Where are you guys from? Where's everybody from? But the people on the other side of the world in the wee hours of the night or late in the evening are the ones who are showing up in the scope, not the people here in the United States. Maybe it's because of the time. Portland, Oregon. We got California. I didn't know you were in California for some reason, Lorena. We got Indiana. We have the UK, and we have Australia. And it's all over. Every single one of those is a different time zone, except for California and Oregon, right? From all over the world. So I want to thank you personally for sharing with me. I'm glad I was comfortable enough to share with you guys that I was thinking about ending this series, because it's coming to an end and it's a success to start something and finish something. But I want to thank all of you people from all over the world. Awesome. You're welcome. I want to thank all of you who continue to show up, because I show up because you've shown up. I've literally said to myself, the right people are showing up, so I need to show up for them. So if you guys weren't doing that, I may not have shown up for myself. So thank you for that. I'm going to acknowledge you. We're going into a whole other series starting. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I am going to be talking about my passion, guys, and I've known this for a very long time. My passion since I was a young kid, my degree's in finance. And I talk about being successful, and a lot of people want to own businesses, and a lot of people want to do stuff. But I'm going to be talking about how to become your own money tree. I'm writing a course right now. It's going to be out next month. How to become your own money tree and the financial strategies they didn't teach you in school. My degree's in finance. I've done a lot of things. I've read an ungodly amount of books on money. I'm subscribed to Money Magazine, and things that are very normal to me that I've been doing for 20 plus years. I realize almost every client I bring on are not normal to the average person. I take my financial situation at some level for granted, but it all started with a very, 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 very simple base strategy that I'll be talking about in my course. You know what? If there's demand for it, I'll do it. Would you guys like me to review Grant's next book? Is it out? Is Obsessed out? Because I'd love to read it, and there's no reason why I shouldn't read it and review it, right? It gives me a good reason to read it every day. The financial tips are going to be so... Again, I take for granted my financial knowledge. I take for granted there are things that are so simple that I do every single day that have led me to a life of being able to work at home, start so many different businesses, toy with different businesses, have success in businesses, have failures in businesses, but it's all because I've understood how money works and how I can have it work to my advantage. And I'm going to share with a bunch of people who want to get in the course, and I'll be scoping about it, but I'm going to give the real goodies in the course. So we'll let you guys know about that not too far from now. And I have a client in the room which will have access to that, and I already let him know that he'll have access to that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for your time. You guys are amazing. I will see you tomorrow for chapter 22 in the final chapter. And if you guys got value out of today, I know it was a long scope. If you guys got value and want to invite it out with your followers, please do so. You are so welcome. I appreciate it. I'm facing Hurricane Matthew, but I'm not worried. Listen, Matthew's nothing, man. He's nothing. But be safe, Ruben. I know a lot of people in Florida. I know a lot of people that are going to be affected by it. So my prayers are going out to everybody, because no matter what, we got to take the storm serious. But I've been through a lot of them. If you do what you're supposed to do, like in life and like in business and like in everything, you go and find shelter. You go have the proper supplies. It may be a week of hell, but you'll get right back on your feet. And I've gone through 3 major hurricanes in my life living in South Florida. And it's all about preparation. If you prepare your life. I wanted to write a book, guys, and somebody told me this title sucked. Plan Your Day, Plan Your Life, Plan to Live is the title of a book that I liked. And the response by one person, which did derail that one, was, nobody likes to plan anything. And I was like, yeah, it's just not going to sell. Plan your day, every day. Plan your life, plan to live. Wow, Jamaica. So you've been through probably a few, and you probably just got whacked a little bit. So I hope everything's fine there with you. So I'm getting out of here, guys. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you soon.